A hospital chief executive has promised to keep his 2 A&E units open, despite the fact they'd been recommended for closure in the reorganisation of the NHS in Epsom and St Helier. But the move to keep the departments open is expected to be blocked by the NHS body, which has the final say. Here's our political correspondent, Carl Mercer.
In the A&E at least, it's been business as usual. Here at St Helier and at Epsom, they see 450 patients a day. But this unit has been under threat for years as local health bosses look to reorganise hospitals in southwest London. Today, though, the boss here promised to keep the A&Es open for the next 5 years.
We have a lot of vacancies in our hospitals, and we know that people are not applying to come and work for Epsom St Helier because they are uncertain about its future. We know that if we are more certain about our future, we will attract more staff, we will fill our vacancies, and then we will provide better patient care.
The trouble is, he doesn't hold the purse strings. He may promise to keep this unit open, but it's the 6 local GP-led commissioning groups who have the money and ultimately decide which services go where. So we went to ask them what they made of the promise.
Is it helpful today when the chief executive comes out and says, I will guarantee the future of these A&Es for the next 5 years?
I don't find it helpful or unhelpful.
But it's a statement to the patients and to the staff to try and give them confidence. Is he in a position to make that guarantee?
I can understand why he wants to make a statement that gives some support to the staff at what is a very good hospital. I cannot support that statement. I can't, because we are not in a position to say whether that is the right thing or the wrong thing at the present time.
That may explain why local campaigners weren't exactly jumping for joy today.
The hospital is absolutely bound by the paymasters. Paymasters are the clinical commissioning groups, and they are still sticking by the principles of BSBV, which decided that St Helier, A&E, maternity, intensive care and the children's hospital have all got to go.
It is, say health watchers, a bit of a turf war.
The hospital can definitely put its point across. The commissioners, if they're good commissioners, will take that point of view, will look at how safe the services are and if it's costing them a lot of money to keep them open, and will then make a decision. If there is significant pushback from the community or the hospital, then this will probably get pushed up to a further level, i.e. the Secretary of State.
Hello and welcome to BBC London News with me, Riz Latif. Health bosses in southwest London are developing possible plans to close 2 hospitals, St Helier and Epsom, and build a brand new 800-bed centre to replace them. It's one of 3 highly sensitive options for the future of healthcare in the area. The Hospital Trust said in a statement tonight that all plans were long-term and there would need to be consultation and agreement. BBC London learnt of the proposals when management consultants working on them held a conference call on a commuter train. Our political correspondent, Carl Mercer, reports.
The health service, as Nick Clegg found out today at St Helier Hospital, can get people pretty emotional.
What about our NHS? Tell us about the hospital.
Top record in campaigning for St Helier's Hospital behind us, keeping it open, keeping the maternity ward open, keeping accident emergency going.
Big promises from the Lib Dem leader, but it turns out the hospital itself may have different long-term plans. It's commissioned consultants to look at building a new super hospital for the area. One of the options being considered is to build a new hospital here at the St Helier Hospital site. The second option being looked at is to rebuild the hospital here at the Epsom site. The third option being considered by consultants, and we're told the preferred option, is to close Epsom and St Helier and rebuild a new, bigger hospital here at Sutton. So how did we find out about these proposals? Well, it wasn't from the NHS. It was actually from the consultants themselves. They were overheard on a train going back to London Waterloo after a meeting with the chief executive of Epsom and St Helier, Daniel Elkerleys. One of them said, I had a brief discussion with Daniel afterwards. He said he felt pretty good about the meeting. He said, we're making good progress. Actually, getting him to agree on the number of beds to start with is a very big accomplishment. They went on to discuss details about what the A&E should be called, what should be in it, and how many beds this new hospital might have.
I'm really shocked that they're talking about closing our local hospital again. They've been wanting to close it for years. They wanted to close this and Epsom Hospital. They're coming back at us again within weeks of the CEO telling us that Epsom and St Helier were safe for the next 5 years.